Ready to go? Okay. So, hello everyone. Thank you for your time and thank you for your interest in the IAR. I'm really glad to welcome you on the session about the Innovation Awards Roulier. My name is Laetitia. I am the Innovation Project Manager at the CMI, which is the Innovation and Research Center of Group Roulier, based here in Saint-Malo in France. And I'm really glad to welcome you on the session and first to present to you some nice information about the challenge that was launched this year. And also at the end, I will be taking all of your questions. So please feel free to send your questions using the chat so you can write it. As you can see, you cannot use your micro or your camera, but feel free to send all of your comments on your chat. And then our communication manager is here with me, and we will be taking all of the questions that you are asking. So here we go. So first important thing about the Innovation Awards Roulier, which is called IAR for us, is the topic. So as you can see, this for this new edition, we have decided to focus on the theme, on the topic of sea-to farm. So the idea is really to understand how marine resources can be useful, can be applied as sustainable and virtuous alternatives for agriculture. So this is the focus of this edition, and I will explain to you why. But first, why the Innovation Awards Roulier was created. So actually, I will show to you something about the first and the last editions of the challenge. But the idea at the beginning of the conceptual implementation of the challenge is that we were looking for more than just applicants or more than just candidates. The idea was really to start this kind of open innovation approach, looking for future partners. So this was the approach, and for each edition, we have decided a kind of different topic to be able to find new solutions, really to face new challenges on the tomorrow's agriculture. So agriculture, as you probably know, is really the core business of Groupe Roulier, historical business. And then the idea is really to think using this kind of approach on how we can innovate, how we can make different projects, different approaches by solve the future challenges on this field. Then for sure, more than just a competition, the idea is to have the Innovation Awards Roulier as a tangible and long-term support initiative that actually was launched by the CMI Roulier, but today the idea is also to implicate all of our business units in this initiative and then create a kind of really long-term support and really long-term relationship with the winners, and then to really create also a support that is really target for the winner and well designed together. So this is the global, I would say, motivation to launch the Innovation Awards Roulier. At the beginning, so the first edition was in 2018. It was focused really on plant nutrition. The format was a little bit different of this actual edition. So in this first edition of the IAR, we had 2 winners with a cash prize that was awarded to each of the winners, but also a 1-year research contract with the CMI. So it was a really focused on research and innovation and make a kind of collaboration together. Then the second edition was launched in 2020, and it was focused on both plant and animal nutrition, because these are our core main fields of research here at the CMI, which is the innovation center of the group. And then again, we had 2 winners with a cash prize that was associated with, again, a research contract during 1 year. So if you want to know more about this previous editions, please feel free to check also our website, because you can find, for example, what kind of projects were the winner at this editions, and you can also find the name of the researchers, for example. So yes, quite a lot of information, interesting information about it. And then we have decided to launch this new edition, so 25, 26. It's just because the challenges are starting in 25, but the final conference will take place in 26. So this is why we have a 2-year challenge. And the idea of this edition is really to focus on marine resources and how we can apply, how we can get inspired by these marine resources to find solutions that can be applicable to sustainable agriculture. And what is interesting is that Groupe Roulier has a large history linked to the marine resources, and actually we are based here in Brittany, which is a region of France that is really close to the sea, and we have different actors and stakeholders in the region that are really interested on the approaches focused on the sea and the ocean. So again, the idea is really to promote solutions coming from the sea to the farm, and then how we can innovate on this pool. Again, as I already mentioned, the idea is to be back to our historical expertise. So again, focusing on marine resources. And here I'm sharing with you some projects that are actually ongoing at the CMI. So these projects, both of these projects were financed by public fundings, so with different sources, and these are public projects. So for example, if you are interested, if you just want to get inspired by this kind of project, you can just check it on the website, and whatever, you will find a lot of public information about it. So the first one is called Starsky. It is actually funded by the INR, which is the National Research Agency here in France. And the idea is really to work on starfish as new source of kinase modulators. So here you have, for example, one idea on what kind of partners are a part of this consortium. And as you can see, it is really well aligned with the topic of this year's edition of the Innovation Awards Roulier, which is really how we can use finally this marine resources applied to uses or applications directly on agriculture. And the second project is called Philasterite. So it is funded by the BPI France, which is a kind of innovation bank for innovators based here again in France. And the idea again is to focus on some invasive species of starfish and try to find new applications in agriculture, both in crop nutrition and animal nutrition, and then create a kind of new chain around this species here in Brittany. So this is just some examples of what kind of project we can think about, and also to get you inspired. But for sure, for this challenge, we are really open to new ideas and new access of work. So talking about this edition of the challenge, so 25-26, again, we are focusing on marine resources, but the idea is really to have an application on agriculture, because it's really our core business. We have a lot of business units around the world working on the agricultural field. So for us, it's really important to have this application that is linked to the topic of marine resources. For this year, we are looking for 3 winners, 3 innovators, and the idea is that we are proposing different kind of prizes that can be awarded to a diverse panel of type of projects coming from TRL, so the level of technological development from 1 to 8. So we have a really large panel of projects that can be covered by one of the prizes. So the challenge is to find exactly the prize that you want to apply for. But if you actually don't know, you can also send us your application and we can categorize your application in one of the prizes. This year, the idea is to have a cash prize. So I will present to you the prizes in more detail, but the idea is to have the cash prize. But most important than the cash will be the tailored support for each winner. So I will show to you, but each of the prizes are associated with a kind of collaboration, a kind of relationship. And for us, it's much more important to create really this proximity with the winners and to keep it in the long term. Then about the topic, so marine resources, this year 25 is a really good year to talk about this topic because it was selected as the year of the sea by the NOU. So we can already see a lot of different events, meetings, congresses, reviews that has been done on this topic of marine resources. So it's a really interesting time to think about projects linked to this topic. So, for example, here's some examples of axes that we can think about. And so, again, as I already said, we are accepting all of the types of projects, but maybe that can also inspire you. So, for example, your project can be about novel species or new bioactive functions, for example, coming from the sea and applied to agriculture. That can be also the valorization of new marine co-products that are, for example, linked to your local geographical location or linked to a specific challenge that you have identified. So we are also open to this kind of approach. And finally, the technological inspiration coming from the sea. So, for example, new processes, biomimicry, all of this kind of different technological and technical approaches that are inspired by the sea. That can also be a topic that we are looking for the winners. Then let's move to the most interesting part, talking about the awards, the prizes. So as I already mentioned, we are looking for three winners, and we have three different prizes that are focused on different types of candidates, different types of projects. So the first one is called the Exploration Award. And here the idea is really to create a collaborative project with the CMI, so our research center. This collaborative project is really an exploratory approach. So as you see, the TRL, so the level of technological development of the project is 1 to 4. So that means that we are really in the R&D phase. Still testing, doing some prototypes in the lab scale, for example. So this is the kind of projects that we are looking for to the Exploration Award. And for sure, the collaborative research project will also be associated to a grant. So here you have the amounts. But again, the most important is not only the amount of the grant, but also creating this collaboration and this relationship with the CMI, between the CMI and the partner and the winner. So yeah, this is quite important for us. And one question that you may have in mind, because I have present to you the previous edition, differently of the previous editions, this year we have not set exactly the duration of the project. So, for example, you can send an application for a project that lasts 1 year or 2 years, 3 years. So it depends a lot on the type of project that the applicant is sending to us. Because, for example, for the Exploration Award, that can be a project to finance a kind of PhD or a postdoc, etc. So for sure, the duration will be quite different between the propositions. So feel free to propose your project with the duration that you need, and then you can associate the budget that you need regarding this duration and regarding the activities that are planned during the duration of the project. Second award, so Scale Up award. Here we are looking for the TRL 5 to 8. So I would say a project with a proof of concept already done. And then the idea is really to help the winner on the scale up phase. So this is why we are proposing a kind of project acceleration. And here, not only with the CMI, but also with our business units. So again, it depends a lot on the needs of the winner. So for example, if the needs is more linked to the market, then we can connect you with some of our business units around the world. If the need is more on testing in the industrial scale, again, we can also connect the winner with our industrial team. So again, the idea is really to help you scale up your solution, and then it will depend a lot on the level, on the stage of development of your project and what you need for the next 2 years. And again, we have a cash prize. With this, you see the amount here, but again, the most important for us is really to discuss together what your project needs to scale up for the next years. And finally, this year, we are also proposing a Young Talent Award. The idea here is to find an innovative student, for example, and we are offering a mentorship. So the idea is, depending on the specialization of the winner, or depending on the needs in terms of career development, the idea is that we can connect the winner with someone from the group Roulier, that can be from the CMIs if there is a more scientific approach, but that can also be someone from our business units. And the idea is really to have this mentorship during the year, and also associated with a grant. And again, the idea is, for the Young Talent Award, the idea would be to use this grant to develop actions that will help the winner to move forward and to develop his or her career. So, for example, that can be financing a kind of training, that can be a participation in an international congress. So again, it depends a lot on the profile of the winner, but we are accepting students in all of the levels, so that can be PhDs, master students. Anyway, all of the types of students can apply to this prize. Then all the information that you need is actually available on our website. So you have the link here, and I will go through the website with you in live, so we can also check some important informations together. But for example, something interesting is that you can download the rules on the website. You can also have a look at our format of collaborative contract that will be applied for sure only for the exploration award. Again, one question that we have received a few weeks ago was about this model of contract. And what is important to keep in mind is that this proposal, this model, is a basis that we will work together at the beginning before starting the project. So the idea is not to have this contract as a fixed one. The idea is really to have a model, to have a basis that we can discuss together to put in place this collaboration for the Exploration Award. Other information that you can find on the website, you can download the application form. The application form is exactly the same for all of the awards. So inside of it, you can choose what kind of award you want to send your application. And even if you don't know exactly for each award is the better for your case. You can also send the application, fill the application form, send it, and our team will allocate you in the prizes in the competition regarding your profile. So maybe we can go through the website together. Let me do it. So here we go. Hopefully it works. Great. Perfect. So here you have the website in the version of my computer. So we still have 18 days to go to send the application. So we need to do it right now. If you go through the menu, you can choose your language, so French, Spanish, Portuguese. So here we will do this in English, but actually you can find all of this, these different languages. So you have the homepage with where you can find the rules of the challenge. So you just need to make a click on this, and then you will find all of the information about the challenge, about the organization, the awards. So a lot of the information that I have actually already present to you. But also some more information that can be interesting for you, for example, about the criteria, the selection process, and also about the confidentiality, intellectual property, data protection. So you can find all of this information that may be interesting for the candidates. And then moving at the homepage, you will find the explanation of all of the prizes that I have presented to you. So here you will find a lot of explanation, some examples of what kind of support we can provide to you. So for example, an explanation about what is a research collaboration with the CMI, some examples on what you can expect coming from this project acceleration. But again, all of this will be really tailored for the winner. So again, you can use the application form to ask exactly what you need, and then we will discuss it together. And with the mentoring, again, some ideas on what this prize can finance. So I already give you some examples, for example, training, congress, etc. But that can be a lot of different opportunities as well. Then you can also find some information about the winners of the previous editions. So you can find 2020 and 2018, as I have presented to you at the beginning of the session. And what is the most interesting is to go directly to this edition of the challenge. Then you can find all of the topics that has inspired our team at the beginning of the conceptualization of the challenge, and some ideas of topics that we are looking for. Again, more information about the prizes. If you have maybe some questions on what that means, TRL 1 to 4, etc., you can also check here and find a scale about this information. Here, our model of contract, as I already mentioned it directly to you. A lot of information about the prizes, the calendar. So we will go through it during the call at the end of the session. Selection criteria, etc. The rules again. So yes, a lot of information on our website. And finally, most important, the page to apply. So here you have some guidelines that will remind you what kind of prize you can apply for. Then you can download the application form, and then you just need to fill it and to put it as an appendix at the form that is here on the right place of the website. And we will have all of the information about you to be able to contact you afterwards during the selection process. About the application form, so maybe we can also have a look at this together. Just give me some minutes. And here we go. So the application forms actually make a total of okay, a total of 10 pages to everyone, and then you have also an appendix that needs to be filled only by private companies, because for private companies, because of confidentiality and etc., we need some more info. But in general, the form is the same for everyone, except of the appendix that should be filled only by the private companies. So here you have some general guidelines, but it's exactly the same that I already mentioned before. So you need to fill it in English for sure, because we will have an international jury that will look at this application form. So we need to understand exactly what you are presenting. And then you can go through our website, fill the form, and then you can add this document as an appendix in your application form. Then the idea of the application form is that it was really created to focus on each of the selection criteria that will be evaluated by the jury. So at the beginning, you have just an overview where you can put all of your references, your LinkedIn page, your personal information that we can find you after the selection. Some really brief information about your project, just us to keep in mind really quickly what you are talking about. So this is just an overview about the project. Then we start the part of excellence. And here the idea is really to understand what is innovative about your project, what kind of problem or challenge you are trying to solve, and how you are trying to solve it. And most important, why your approach is innovative. So the idea is really to present your project, to be, I would say, to argument about your project, and I would say, to sell it as a really interesting approach. So some question at the beginning, we can think that there is a lot of pages, but actually there is a lot of blank spaces that you can just fill it with your ideas, your references, for example, etc. Your results, if you already have carried out some experiments, you can also explain it inside of the form. And then what is interesting is that you can also add some images here, or some support, some photos, for example, if you have it. So we have the space to put all of this information inside of the application form. Then something important is if you already have, for example, partnerships that are already defined, linked to your projects, or if you are maybe collaborating with some companies, some subcontractors to develop your project, you can also indicate it. But otherwise, if you are still looking for it, or you have not still defined this kind of information, you can just let this part as it is actually. Then we can move to the chapter about the impact. So here the idea will be really to understand the target of your project. So that can be on a specific market, for example, that can be on a specific geographical area. So again, how your project will impact some population, some markets, etc. So up to you to explain us what are the impacts. So the first part is really about the economic and market impacts that it can be. And then we can move to the extra, what we call it, the extra financial impact. So things more linked to the socioeconomic and environmental impacts. So this is also important for us because as we are talking about marine resources, it's quite important to be sure that we are doing a kind of sustainable approach as well. And then we move to the implementation. So the idea is, well, until before this part of the form, you are describing your results, your partners, your target market, etc. And then the idea here is to look at the future. So I mean, what are you looking for the next 3 years? What do you need exactly to move forward in your project? So yes, that can be a lot of different actions. That can be different stages of development of your project. So the idea is really to understand what are the next steps and how the group can support you on it. So again, you can insert here, for example, a calendar or a chart to explain it in the visual way. You can also indicate what are the costs for the future that you are expecting to make these actions. And then if you already have some ideas on how to finance your project, you can also indicate it, but it's not actually mandatory. And at the end, the very last chapter will be about motivation. So the idea is here is to understand what is the composition of the team that is working on the project, what are the different expertises, and well, really to understand how this idea came up on the team, what was your motivation at the beginning of the creation of the project, and super important as well, how your project aligns to the vision of Groupe Roulier, but more in general, how your project aligns with the theme of this edition, which is Sea to Farm. And as I mentioned, the final appendix is only to be completed by private companies because we need some more specific information about companies. But if you are a student or a public organization or a research institute, for example, you don't need to fill this final part. Then let's go back to the presentation. Here we go. Working well. So again, all of the information that you need is available on the website. And also, if you have questions, we have a FAQ in the website, and then you can find a lot of answers to common questions, let's say like that. And if you have other questions, you can also use the form of contact in the website, and then our team will be answering directly your questions by email. But let's move to the selection process really quickly, just to give you an overview. What are the next steps after sending your application? And then actually there is two major steps on the selection process that will be the first one carried out by our local business units. So for this edition, we have selected 7 different business units. So you have the indication here in this slide. But the idea is just that this business units will be helping us on the selection process, will be helping us on the sourcing, but it doesn't mean that your project needs to be based on this country, because actually the challenge is open to everyone. So every country can send the applications, and this is very, very important. And then the step 2 will be the selection by a global jury. And here we will have some external members that have a scientific background, but also an innovation background. And also the global jury will be also composed by some members of Groupe Roulier from the CMI, but also from the other units based here in Saint-Malo. We will be evaluating all of the applications using the same criteria, which are exactly the same that appears on the application form. So the first will be excellence. So as I already mentioned, the quality of the concept, what challenge you are trying to solve, what is your innovative approach. So it's really the first chapter that you need to fill after the overview of the project in the application form. Then we move to the implementation, which is what are the next steps to scale your project. What is the development plan for the next years? What is the risks that you already see about your project? And then we move to the impact. So again, the market potential, the environmental, socio-economic impact, for example, how your solution or your project aligns with Groupe Roulier activities in general, globally. And finally, the motivation. So understand the skills of the team, the potential of development of an international project together, and we will be looking at these four different dimensions of selection criteria in the same way. So that means that they will be scored with the same in the same place. There is not any ponderation between the four different criteria. And again, applications from all countries are very, very welcome. And our selection business units will help us to select it, but please feel free to send your application coming from all the countries. We will be happy to know more about your project. Then the calendar. So the idea is that applications will be open until the middle of September. So you still have a little bit more than 2 weeks to send your application. During the months of October and November, we will be making the first step of the selection directly with our business units. So based in the countries that I already mentioned before, but the idea is really to look at all of the applications coming from all of the countries. And then at the end of the year, the selection will be on the step 2. So that means that there is the jury, the global jury that will be selecting. And the idea is to select 9 finalists. So I mean 3 per award, because we have 3 awards. And then the idea is to invite these 9 finalists to come to Saint-Malo in March of 26 to participate in the final conference here in Saint-Malo and to pitch your project directly in front of this global jury, and then we will select the winners during the ceremony. And what is interesting is that actually we are planning a kind of a final conference that even if you are not one of the 2 winners, the idea is really that during this final conference, you can meet our business units directly here in Saint-Malo. We are also proposing, we are also conceptualizing, I would say, a kind of agenda in which you will have some, I would say, some training in some of, in some topics that can be interesting for all of the finalists. So the idea is really to have the 9 finalists here with us. We can discuss. We will be really close to our board of direction. And then to have 3 of these 9 finalists that will really win the final prizes. But it's a really good opportunity to be in our locals. The idea is also to make a tour of our facilities with the finalists that will be there. So yes, that can be also quite interesting to be here with us. And then just to conclude the presentation, here the video that was published at the beginning of the challenge. So it's really a reminder on what is our purpose and what was our motivation at the beginning of the challenge and how we want to be, I would say, really close to the winners for the next 2 years. So the 3 different awards that I have presented to you. and the topic of this year, so C2 Farm again, how we can innovate for agriculture for the next years. And then some key dates to keep in mind. So middle of September, the application period close. So you have 2 weeks to finalize your applications and send it to us. And as soon as we get your applications, we can already started looking at it. So it's a very good timing to send it right now. And then January 26, we will be announcing the 9 finalists that will be invited to came to the final conference in Saint-Malo to pitch the project and also to meet some person of our team. So yes, we are looking forward to having you here in Saint-Malo. A final reminder about the prizes. So again, you can find all of the interesting information in our website. So you have the link just here. And yes, that's all for this afternoon. And thank you very much for your attention. And if you have some questions, I will be really happy to take it. Oh, mhm. Okay. So let's check. Let's check some questions. So, okay, we have a first question. Can we present an application with several collaborators or as beneficiaries? Should we include then the partnership? Yes, you can send an application with several collaborators. The most important is that the application needs to be unique. So you need to, I would say, choose one project leader, and this project leader will be sending the application, and then you can indicate your other collaborators inside of the application form. But actually, each project needs to be sent by just one person that will be, I would say, the project leader. But it's just to facilitate our treatment and the selection process. But for sure, one project can have several collaborators as beneficiaries. There's no problem on it. And the second part of the question, the money allocation could be discussed during the contract arrangement. Yes, so the contract that we have proposed on the website, actually, there is 2 parties, so one part and one party, but we can add other parties as signatory on the contract, and we can discuss the repartition of the price. There is no blockage, no problem at all on this topic. Then, shoes between parts are empty. How do we do? Okay, I will need to check it after the call, and then I can answer in. I think we have all of the emails. Then I can answer directly to you because I need to go exactly where it is on the application form, and then I can get back to you directly. So this is my answer to Julie. I will be contacting you just afterwards the session. And then we had also some questions coming up from the contact form present that is available on the website. And we had a question about the duration of the project. So again, that can be 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years or more. You just need to explain exactly what you need during this period of time, and also how you are planning to allocate the price during the duration that you are indicating in your application form. So there is no limitation about the duration of the project. Another question that we get from the website is about the IP, so the intellectual property of the projects that are developed. So this question is more important, especially for the exploration award, because we are talking about a project that is still on the R&D phase. So actually, our model of contract already sets some general guidelines about the intellectual property. But for sure, again, this is a model of contract, and this will be discussed before the start of the collaboration. So the idea is really to give you a basis that we can work with together, but such as the budget that will be really discussed during the creation of the collaboration before it starts. So it's a basis, it's a kind of basis of contract, and then you can read it to have some general guidelines. But for sure, the idea is really to work directly with the winner to adapt this model of contract to the specific needs of the winner. Okay, so I think that we took all of the questions that were on the chat and also on the website. So if you don't have, if you still have questions, please go ahead. But if you don't have any more questions, please take the time to check the website. If you have questions, you can also send it to us after the session. And please feel free to check as well all of the publications that has been made on the Group Roulier page. So both in the LinkedIn page and also on the Instagram. And then I think you will find a lot of different information in there. But we remain available to answer all of your questions. And I think there is one more question that came up just now. There is still an unanswered question in the Q&A. Okay. Okay, it's the first one. What is the amount of the award related to? Is the award supposed to be used in the project budget, or is it a monetary award independent to the project itself? So it depends a lot on the prize. So for example, for the young talent, it's a prize, it's a grant in itself. For the startup, the scale up award, so that can be a startup, for example. It is again a monetary award independent to the project, but for the exploration award, the idea is that the award is a part of the budget that is done between us because it is a collaboration. So in our usually when we are building a collaboration, there is money that is put by both of the parties, and the apport, or I mean the money that CMI or the group will be allocated to the collaboration and the collaboration in itself. So yes, the award for the exploration one is really connected to the performance of the collaboration in itself. Do you see any more questions? Okay. Perfect. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you again for your interest on IAR. And if you have any more questions, please just let me know. And Julie, I will be answering directly to you afterwards. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, and have a nice end of the day, everyone.